Okay, I'm just... Alright, I'm just hoping that I can be heard. Okay. Alright, this is good. I'm heard. There's no, feedback in this now. I think it's set up perfectly. So, I'm very sorry about that. I'm sorry about the delay. I had to just get rid of everything and start again. So, welcome to the Wrestling Pod. I'm your host, Carlito Santiago, and today we are going to be reviewing the SmackDown after the Elimination Chamber, of course, the March 7th episode of SmackDown, as we are here, of course, today on the 8th. Shout outs to Doc, Chris Muller, of course, for the Bleacher Report. And before we start, please hit that subscribe button, drop a like, comment down below, and turn on those post notifications so you'll never miss a stream. Not only was this the post-elimination chamber episode, but it featured the fallout of Cena's heel turn and portrayal of Cody Rhodes. The American Nightmare returned to the what? The American Nightmare returned to the Blue brand to discuss what happened between him, Cena, and of course the final boss. And we had some championship matches, 2 United States Championship matches here in Philadelphia. And it felt right to do it in Philadelphia. So, we opened up with a shot of Drew McIntyre attacking Damian Priest backstage before we got a obligatory, hopefully I'm saying that right, PLE recap. We went back to the arena. Randy Orton made his way to the ring. Surprisingly, his entire 10-minute promo went uninterrupted. Following a successful showing at the Elimination Chamber alongside Trish Stratus, Tiffany Stratton found herself back in the ring this week in a non-title bout against Piper Nivens. Before I move forward, Randy Orton talked about coming back, Kevin Owens. He also, hopefully they got some of the things here. Nope, nothing mentioned. Okay, so came back, mentioned about how Kevin Owens talked about John Cena, talked about The Rock, made a lot of discussion talks, and talked about how Pat McAfee would become the second best kicker or best punter here in the WWE. So now back to, of course, this match. While Nivens had the size and power advantage, Stratton is no weakling. She made sure Nivens knew she could hold her own within the first couple of minutes. Chelsea Green was not at ringside because she would have a match later. So this was a fair fight instead of the usual hijinks that we expect coming from both the champion and, of course, her bodyguard. So this was a solid match, but there wasn't much to it. Everything they did was executed well, and nothing was especially surprising or stood out as exciting outside of the finish. So Stratton scored a clean win with her signature moonsault, but her celebration was cut short when Charlotte Flair chop-blocked her in the leg and put the figure 8 on her. And no tapping out, Stratton kind of fighting it off, So this is a pretty good match, but nothing further of that. And this is great to see plus. And I agree. When we get to WrestleMania, hopefully we get to see Stratton kind of win against Flair, kind of make it a big deal. Flair is the focal point of this story. She is the clear focus in this entire story. So, and she's coming off very well as the heel. And I like it. I like that very much. Of course, we had a triple threat match that would decide to face, of course, the Street Profits next week, and the winners of those will be the number 1 contenders to face, of course, DIY. So, a triple threat match took place to determine the number of contenders for the tag team titles. They will face the winners of DIY in this Street Profits. Okay, so my misconfusion. So, of course, we had Chris Sabian and Alex Shelley enter the ring. Angel and Bertho came out during the break, while Kit Wilson and Elton Prince made their entrance when we returned. So, Angel tagged himself in to make sure Motor City Machine Guns were not in the match to begin, but he was immediately hit with a drop kick. All 6 men were brawling within a minute because everybody was trying to make sure they were the legal men. In a bit of an upset, Pretty Deadly was able to score the win with a backslide pin. They will face the winners of DIY and the Street Profits. This was an entertaining match with a few good moments and a surprising but deserved outcome. The SmackDown Tag Team division has been lacking, in my opinion, but they're having a bit of fun here on SmackDown, and it's kind of fun to watch the tag team. As you know, it's fun to watch the tag teams go at it. I miss tag team wrestling a lot, and I'm glad that WWE is bringing it back here on SmackDown. So it's great to see every team getting some attention at the same time. Great to be, and I agree. Pretty Deadly has come a long way, and they really need to break out as stars, as where we've seen, Los Gatos being the next ones, and we already know more about the Motor City Machine Guns than anything. Plus, I saw Minecraft ads on the apron and barricade, which are great examples of how WWE has embraced more of advertising. So yeah, I guess this is the probably build up the fan base as well. Now, of course, for this solid little program, it was Naomi all along. Shout out to Marvel. Bianca Belair came to the ring to address winning the chamber, but also talk about how Jade Cargill attacked Naomi. She asked Naomi point blank if she attacked Jade, but Naomi kept trying to deflect. This led to Naomi dramatically revealing she did indeed attack Jade. And she did it just like Rikishi did it for The Rock. She did it for Bianca. She did it for us. We didn't need Jade. Fuck that bitch. Right? Naomi, of course, ranted and cried as the EST walked away from her in the ring with tears in her eyes. Of course, a friendship broken, all down, until Cargill arrived to the scene, rocking a beautiful, and yes, let me say, beautiful white attire with blood. Just blood on it, white, while Bianca and Naomi were wearing black, as if this was a fucking funeral. And this is about to be a fucking funeral, because Naomi about to get her ass whooped, which she did. Naomi, of course, tried to leave the ring, only for Cargill to get her hands on her and proceed to beat her down. And Naomi screaming, of course, as Jade hit the Jaded to put her away. This was a long segment, but for what it was, they pulled it off well. Naomi and Bianca sold the emotion as Jade, of course, provided the violence, putting a nice little bow on everything and tightening it up very clearly. We could be getting a one-on-one match, hopefully, at somewhere down the line, maybe in a couple weeks or at WrestleMania, which builds to this tension, and, of course, putting the nice conclusion to the story away. So great at B, and it's going to stay at B. It's great. I'd go watch it. Braun Strowman took on Solo Sikoa. See, Braun Strowman continued his feud with a new bloodline this week when he took on Solo in a singles match. The Monster Among Men had an upper hand at first, but Sikoa sent him into the steel steps to stop his momentum in its tracks. We returned from the break to see the Street Champ power Strowman up for a Samoan drop after struggling for a few moments. For two guys known for their power, they've had a surprising amount of speed and energy in this bout. It's just too bad that Tama Tonga interfered and draw a DQ, and you know how I feel about DQ finishes. They suck. They're fucking garbage. Unless you know how to use them properly. Now, I can't explain to you how you use them properly, but in WWE sense, when they're ever backed up into a corner, or they're backed up into, when they're in a way backed up to a point where they can't, they don't want this person to lose, they don't want that person to lose, well, then that's when you can use a DQ or a count out to kind of further it a little bit. Now, this could have been a great match, but the way it ended felt like the laziest booking decision possible. Thank you for that statement alone. I like to literally highlight this and make it very clear. Look at this. This is a clear statement that you're going to get here. It is lazy booking. We don't like lazy fucking booking. But What happened after felt like we could be leading into a last man standing match again with Braun Strowman and, of course, Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu showed up for a confrontation with the Monster Among Men. They battled at ringside and into the crowd, and Fatu was put through tables with a choke slam, but didn't stay down for long as he got back up and kind of shook it off. And what I found out is that Jacob Fatu's favorite wrestler, ladies and gentlemen, is none other than the Boogeyman. And it kind of makes sense, too. Look at how he shakes in the ring. He kind of shakes like the Boogeyman used to do, right? Honestly, I think that's insane. And he got to meet Boogeyman, and oh my God, was he so happy, clapping up and down, jumping up and down, clapping and shit. Also, this is great to see, and it's going to stay to see because Strowman won by DQ. Why are we doing DQ finishes on something that should have been, what, you don't want Strowman to lose, but you don't want Solo to lose? Shit. Solo's been losing enough here. You should have had Solo win. If that were the case. If you were going to further this story, Strowman wins. Or, like, you just don't do a DQ here. Okay? Like, you can have interferences. I love the interference. Like, have Solo be, like, down and have Strowman have an interference by fucking Tama Tonga and Jacob too, but don't, like, have him cause a DQ. Have him interfere, like, Strowman has to fight him off, and then have Solo spike him, and, I don't know, put the big man down. Or do a count-out victory, right? I know that might feel a little lazy. They also played the moment when Cody told Lex Luger that he would be in the Hall of Fame. Is a nice moment. I even seen the clip, and it was very touching, and I thought it well-deserved. Well-deserved. Of course, here in Philadelphia, we love street fights, don't we not? So, Michin and Chelsea Green dressed up in their very gear. Of course, Michin rocking the Eagles, the Super Bowl champions. I'm sorry I had to do it that loud. And, of course, Miss Chelsea Green dressed up in a Cactus Jack. So, Chelsea dressed up as Cactus Jack, as Michin dressed up as a NFL cheerleader for a street fight with the U.S. Championship. Michin came out with a trash can full of weapons, and the fighting began before she even got in the ring. We had a break. We returned from the break. Chelsea Green took a blast from a fire extinguisher right to the face, which gave Michin enough time to fairly grab a table from under the ring and set it up, as we had, of course, the crowd chant ECW, because we're in Philadelphia, like I mentioned again. As the challenger set up a table in the corner, the champion hit a bulldog that stalled her plans. Once the table was set up, Michin, of course, hit Eat Defeat and put Green through it. Now, the table kind of fell. If you were watching live, it fell, a bit. Like I did see the clip, it did fall. Like it wasn't set up. And Michin goes up on the top rope and is like, whatever, I'm still going to go through it. So she climbs to the top rope, hit somewhat of a senton on Green through the table, went in for a cover. 1, 2, somebody in a black hoodie decided to pull Green out of the ring. Then, of course, give Michin a little kick to the face. It was Alba Fire, as she revealed herself to be the attacker after hitting a destroyer on top of some chairs. She saluted. Why did I think it was assault? I don't know. She saluted as Green covered Michin for the pin and the win. And she helped the champion to her feet. Appears to be her newest Secret Service security. They're really feeding into this gimmick, and I love it, right? When you're given a gimmick or you're given an idea, you got to play it out. You got to just, gone with the win. Got to go with it, Got to put everything you can into it and make it feel good and look good. I agree with the wrestlers who say that. When they're given a gimmick or they come up with a gimmick, they put all their heart into it, and they give it what they can. So, the ending was surprising, but not necessarily in a good way. It's great to see Fire being used after Isla Dawn's release, but it's unfortunate that WWE felt the need to make Michin lose again in this way. It's also unfortunate that WWE has to continue putting Michin up against fucking Chelsea Green, don't you think? Why don't we get somebody like Zelina Vega or fucking Natalia or like somebody who could deserve the TV time? Yes, Michin's been on TV so many times, but hey, the need to make Michin lose this way again, yeah, it's unfortunate. But to have Michin fucking keep going up against Chelsea Green constantly because they're in a feud, fucking end it already. Chelsea Green's already beaten Meechin, what, 3 times? Call it quits, lady. Damn. B-, and I agree. We had another match, of course, between Jimmy Uso and, of course, Drew McIntyre. But first, we had to get to Cody Rhodes, as he had to address Cena's heel turn at the Elimination Chamber with a huge black eye because of Travis Scott. Thank you, Travis. Fiend. Cody said he is waiting for Cena to explain his actions. He delivered a passionate promo telling Cena to come get some if he wants some. Right? He also told him about the time they were here in Philly, and Cena looked at him, pointed at the title, and said, "It gets heavier every time you pick it up. Or every time you carry it." And it's true. The title, the real titles, hold a good 10 pounds. The replica title belts are less than 10 pounds. They're lighter. Replica belts are usually lighter than the fucking real belt. The real belt is pretty fucking heavy. I know because I've felt a real belt before, and it's pretty goddamn heavy. And no, I'm not talking about the one that Lewis brought. No, different belt. I have an old friend who had a belt, replica belt, and it was pretty heavy. But it's 10 pounds lighter. The next match we saw, though, is Jimmy and McIntyre. Again, a match that happened way before the Elimination Chamber, where McIntyre lost, if I'm correct, which he did not need to lose. But here, he got his win back. He got some momentum built. So, McIntyre took on Jimmy Uso, who came in red hot, went right after the Scottish Psychopath as soon as he hit the ring. Jimmy kept the fight competitive and never let the powerhouse dominate the pace. But one big Claymore put him down to give McIntyre the 1-2-3 victory. There wasn't much to this match. Most of it took place during the break, so it was hard to get excited about anything that was happening, especially when it felt shorter than expected. McIntyre was attacked as he thought about going and getting some more beatdown on the Uso because, of course, of his bloodline ties. Damian Priest needed to get some revenge of his own. As, of course, as you remember, McIntyre attacked Priest backstage. So Priest came out, got some revenge, and attacked McIntyre to get back at him for what happened earlier. It took several security guards or officials to keep him off of McIntyre. So yeah, I wish this match did go a little bit longer, but hey, you know what? You get what you get. And honestly, the last week? Was it last week? I don't know. McIntyre should have won against fucking Jimmy. I'm sorry. McIntyre should have won against Jimmy like the 2 weeks before or so, before the Elimination Chamber even occurred, and they didn't do that. So here they gave him the win for some fucking reason, and I didn't feel anything new. So McIntyre gets the win on Uso in a short match with Priest getting some revenge. Yeah, C+ at best. But ladies and gentlemen, we're finally here. The time where I can actually fucking rant about this goddamn thing. Okay? So, the main event was Shinsuke Nakamura versus LA Knight for the United States Championship. As Shinsuke Nakamura, in his 4 fucking months of being U.S. champion, he defended the title twice against the same fucking person. Nakamura's title reign, this title reign, from November to now, has been lackluster and has been fucking, under me, worse than fucking Logan Paul. And I'm sorry I keep saying fucking because it's ridiculous that WWE decided to take the title off of LA Knight to put it on Nakamura to then now put it back on Knight. I think it's stupid, especially if Knight was the person that they were going to put it back on. They were definitely going to do Knight versus Shinsuke Nakamura and put the title back on Knight because of the fucking backlash they got from the reactions that people had. Everybody agrees, and WWE's hearing us out. They're listening to us. They're talking to us. They're really listening in and saying, "Hey, we hear you. We're gonna correct it. We're gonna right a wrong." This was the perfect way to do so. They written a wrong last night where they had LA Knight defeat Shinsuke Nakamura to win the U.S. title back. They should have never took it off of LA Knight in the first place. And honestly, Nakamura's reign should have lasted a month. But because it lasted this long, they just needed some more feedback. Nakamura was hanging around in the back, surfing and searching for new contenders, but never got any. And WWE was wasting time with that. So, here, Nakamura defended his title against LA Knight. Nakamura took control early and kept the upper hand for a few minutes. He hit a few signature moves, like his sliding German suplex, but Knight recovered and hit a bulldog to take him down. Charles Robinson ended up getting fucking misted by mistake, because Charles Robinson loves getting fucking knocked out in every match he's in. Love you, Charles Robinson. Great referee, other than John Cone and Mike Chioda. Fuck Earl Hebner, though. But it didn't matter in the end. Another referee ran down as Knight put a win. Or actually, sorry. LA Knight was able to hit the BFT onto a steel chair on Nakamura for a referee to run down and get the 1-2-3 victory so that we end the show on a high note. This was a solid match with an ending that wasn't as easy to predict as expected, which is always a plus. And I figured with Nakamura being a shitty champion, we put the belt back on the person who needed to keep it. Now, the only reason I could honestly think of why WWE decided to take the belt off of LA Knight to put it on Nakamura, maybe to give Nakamura credibility, probably, or WWE likes to fall into this routine of what the fans like. And to be honest with you, the fans love, myself included, love the chase rather than the reign itself. If you think about it, you put a new champion on, you put the championship on a new person, right? It's a baby face usually, and people cheer, and they're like, I'm going to love this run. This run's going to be great. And then when we have the title run like go the way it goes, right? People will start to fall into that routine. It's like, okay, we need somebody to beat you. You've been beating everybody. Like, we need somebody to actually be worthy of beating you now, right? Because the fans are going to turn on you, right? The fans are basically going to turn their back and they'll be like, they're going to boo you because you're you're too great to be defeated by anybody, and they don't like that. They love the chase rather than the fucking, But and I've heard it before too. It's like it's not about the destination. It's about the journey that we take to get there. So the same thing here. They love the chase. They love when people chase after the belt. So it's better to put the championship on heels so then LA Knight could probably go back and chase it again. So I think WWE just wanted to create that chase for LA Knight again, But also at the same time, he was doing well as U.S. champion, and even if the fans did turn their backs, he could turn his back too, and he could be like, you know what, fuck you guys. I'm LA Knight. Yeah, fuck you. Right? Like, LA Knight could with the mouth that he has, he could easily portray a heel. But here, I love that Knight won. He is the two-time United States champion. Of course, as you saw the picture too. So, great to be, and I agree. But the final word of SmackDown, of course, as we know, Friday's episode did a lot of work wrapping up storylines from Elimination Chamber while also getting ready and preparing as we set ourselves straight to WrestleMania 41. But the action of the show was lacking. None of the matches felt like they had the level of aggression we have come to expect, and only one of them felt like it had real consequences. Pretty Deadly winning a tag team title opportunity was one of the highlights of the show, as was most of the street fight between Michin and Green, but it is hard to say any of the matches stood out as memorable. The match between LA Knight and Nakamura was the best performance on the card, but not by a big margin. All in all, it was a forgettable but passable week for the Blue Brand. A C+ at best. And I agree. SmackDown really needs to ramp up some of their little division, especially with the 3 hours that they are given to kind of book their show. It gives SmackDown kind of a flexibility. And here's the thing: most stars are on Raw, and not that many are on SmackDown. And you gotta give time for most of these wrestlers. Like, you gotta give time for this. You gotta wrap up some of the storylines. You gotta wrap up fucking this little feud here. This feud, like, you really need to have more people other than Meech and fucking face Chelsea Green. And yeah, we still got McIntyre on his little journey or run where he's gonna confirm Damian Priest. Now, I do want to show you guys something that's interesting. I'm gonna pull this up here, okay? You guys, I don't think you've seen it as of late, but here it is. So, I got some pretty good WrestleMania matches right here for you guys. That's possible now. So, I do believe that we could be looking at a Fatal 5-Way Tag Team match for the Tag Team Championships. When I say multiple men, I mean specifically, if I'm going to write them in, Penta versus Balor versus Sheamus. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's forgot one more. Like 6-pack challenge type shit. Yeah. This could possibly be the WrestleMania match. And then obviously I forgot to mention this one. Oh. Okay. Yeah. So this is probably what where the matches are headed. DIY and Street Profit, all the tag team match. You got the Intercontinental Championship multi-man match, which they could probably put here. Kevin Owens and Randy. Yeah, actually, I'm going to do that. Copy that. Yeah, I'm going to put Logan Paul and AJ Styles right here. Logan Paul. And then there's possible WrestleMania matches that I have set, like honestly, this is probably the best that you could get. Okay, maybe Rollins and Punk are going to be at this one, so they could put maybe Solo and Jacob don't feud each other. I don't know. All I know is that this is a pretty good setup right here. Okay, we got Gunther and we got most of the champion, Cena and Rollins. Yes, you got a lot of things here, and then possible matches to come. Again, this is my thinking of WrestleMania. What is confirmed though for WrestleMania is Gunther and Jay. Most likely they're heading in this route as Bianca Belair, Rhea, and of course Io in a triple threat match. We could be looking at a new champion. I don't know, but that could be the route that they go in. This one is undetermined. This one is there something they're going to be setting up for, which I agree. If it does happen, I'm okay with it as long as it wasn't Cena and Cody. This is confirmed. This is confirmed. And then this should be confirmed with Roman Reigns possibly being a third man in there for a triple threat match. And then everything else is just speculation. This can also be sort of confirmed. But I added this one just in case if they decide to bring Bad Bunny back. This one, of course, because they're feuding with it. And then this one if they needed more championship matches to be included. But I think WWE is pretty good with the feuds that they got here all set up. These are all just based on what I'm seeing on my television screen. Everything I'm seeing from Raw, I'm hearing from SmackDown. I just think this is a pretty good lineup. And plus, they're going to Las Vegas. All of these people here in Las Vegas, worth it. Worth to go see everybody here in Las Vegas, all right? Even if it's not like these people going to Vegas as well. They could be there. But the future is uncertain. And we don't know until, of course, we build up. So we got through week 1 of these 7 weeks. We got 6 more weeks until, of course, WrestleMania 41 in Las Vegas. And I cannot wait. I cannot wait. And I don't know about you. But as far as I'm concerned, we're looking pretty good for wrestling right now. So, again, I enjoyed being here. I enjoyed reviewing the SmackDown for you guys. If you guys could please, again, subscribe to the channel, drop a like, comment down below, and turn on those post notifications. It would really, I'd be appreciated. It'd be appreciated a lot. Now, I will be here, hopefully, with Lewis on Monday for the Raw review. I know we kind of went really fast with it last time. There's no pay-per-view building up, so we got a lot of time to work and build and come up with ideas and shit for WrestleMania. I've already announced that we will be doing a watch-along, so be prepared for that. I'll be setting that up about a month before the pay-per-view happens, so look for next week. Or, yeah, look for 2 weeks from now or so. You will see the stream that will be up and prepared for WrestleMania. You can't wait. I'll be watching along. We'll have the camera set up and everything. It will be great. I can't wait. So, until Tuesday, I will see you guys later. next week.